Oh, that's so bad. Wait. What the heck? They're running bites? That's actually kind of crazy. Bites Toxapex is actually insane. I honestly did not even remember this thing learned bites. Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Boy, do I have a video for you all today. I've been playing Retro Cup this rotation and I have climbed a ton of elo. I've hit a season high of over 3200s, and this team I've created has helped a couple of my patrons even hit legend and climbed hundreds of points in just a few days. Here's some examples of my patrons climbing hundreds of points in just a few days, and a few of them also hit that legend mark with that team. So with that said, the team is a Clodsire with a Shadow Primeape and a Jellicent. And let me tell you, Shadow Primeape is the real deal. It is super frail, but it hits so hard and it's able to win you so many matches in the right situations. It beats a lot of things that people think should counter it, but this is why the shadow part is really important, because the shadow variant specifically can beat Jumpluff, whereas the non-shadow can't necessarily do that in those situations. So a lot of people that don't know about that matchup will bring the Jumpluff in and you just flip switch right then and there. Sometimes people just don't have a great answer for it and you still are able to flip switch advantage. I'm going to show you all two of my recent back-to-back sets so you can see exactly what this team is capable of. Before we get into the battles, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you'd like private one-on-one coaching, scrims against me, some of my league guides and strategies ahead of time, or even tune into my live stream battles, feel free to sign up through the Patreon link down below. You might be thinking, isn't this team pretty weak to Grumping lead? Well, you might think that, but the main thing is, even though Clodsire loses to Grumping, it's not that bad of a matchup. And the other aspect of it is they typically will be pretty weak to Primeape in the back. Once in a while, you might see like a Jumpluff in there, but for the most part, and again, even Jumpluff, you're not really super worried. The Jellicent doesn't have as much play usually in the back because they usually have a Furret or something like that. But that being said, this person is going to farm me all the way down, and I'm just going to use my Jellicent. Oh, I was going to soak up the damage, but I think it's actually very better for me to just take it out and then have the shield advantage for my Primeape. Primeape is going to go pretty crazy with it. And now we are, they come in with their own Primeape, actually. So I think I'm just going to absorb this energy. Oh, they actually don't throw a move. Kind of weird. Maybe they're going... I'm not really sure why they didn't throw a move there. But I would have got a little bit more energy on my Primeape if that was the case. And let's see what they do. They come in with the Furrets. And unfortunately for them, this is a really bad spot to be in. You do have the shield pretty much most of the moves, but you outpace the Furrets, or you get charge deck priority, but I outpace now because I had one extra Cry Chop worth of damage. I'm just going to throw the Ice Punch right when I have it though, and it's going to do a ton of damage. It's important though, you want the Shadow Primeape here, and there is currently a Shadow event going on, so definitely go grind out some Shadow Primeape if you can. The PvP IVs I have on my Primeape are pretty bad. They're very, very bad, so I personally am looking to upgrade as well too. Furret is a pretty okay lead. I personally like the Sludge Bomb Earthquake moveset just because the pacing of Sludge Bomb is a lot faster. You can bait a lot more easily with it. And overall, I just don't really miss having Stone Edge. I guess the occasional Drift Limb will be pretty bad for the team, but outside of that, I don't really miss too much. Alright, so most Furret users, they'll throw a Trailblaze, then go back-to-back Swift, and they'll hit on Charge Deck Priority, which is not a big deal. But they try to get to that Swift and they can't, and that's going to be the game for them. Really smart players will swap that Furret out, but typically speaking, your Jellicent will have a lot of play in the back too. So, all right, this player comes in with a Clodsire, and this makes things a little bit easier because I grab a shield, and then I have my Jellicent. I'm going to shield up as well though because it's unlikely they bait me there. And this will allow me to ensure that I maintain switch advantage. And this Jumpluff doesn't have a lot of places to go here. Yeah, Jellicent really rounds out this team really well. I thought about running other stuff like Feraligatr, maybe Blastoise, stuff like that. But then you end up being really weak to certain things in the back. Okay, so they made a great catch on their Jumpluff. And Lapras being the primary one for Feraligatr in the back, right? It just won't hit. You just will have not as much play into it. There's been a lot less Lapras though since the first couple days of this meta, so maybe that's not a huge concern. But in the early few days, I did see quite a bit. I could just be getting lucky and not seeing a lot of Lapras. I don't know. My team's pretty strong into it either way, though. But alright, we are able to take out this Clodsire, which puts me in a really good position. And then this is one of my favorite things about Primeape is that it paces so fast. And you win Charge Attack priority against almost everything in this meta. So, yeah, I mean, I guess maybe if you see like a Gengar, I don't know, Gengar might win Charge Attack priority. I don't even know if that would or not. But at this point in time too, I'm just way too far ahead, and then one Shadow Ball should do it. I think I just give the Respect Shield just in case, but there's just no shot that Hydro Cannon takes me out either way. All right, and yeah, we're gonna keep the wins coming along. I mean, and this elo is I'm pretty high up there, right? I'm at 30-59, I think, in these sets. So these aren't like easy opponents by any means. So if you're at a slightly lower elo range, then this might be some of these matches might be even easier. All right, they come in Unova Stumpfisk, and I come in Jellicent, which was not the right call. What I should have done is actually just stayed in Clodsire, but so I ended up putting myself in a kind of a bad position. That being said, yeah, because I believe I was streaming while I was doing these sets, so you can actually watch my live reactions. This is my last live stream in my on my YouTube if you want to check out my verbal reactions while playing. But this is the actual footage for those that might have missed that, and kind of like a post-analysis breakdown of it. So I just want to absorb the damage there, and then I know that my Primeape is pretty strong, even into the rest of their team, and in comes a Clodsire. This is actually pretty good for me because I could just Karate Chop down. Like, Shadow Primeape just does things that are just absolutely wild. Like, you think poisons are fighting counters, but it's just not the case. And all that energy is so valuable here at this point in time too. It just does so much. I could combo play as well, and if they try to throw a move, it doesn't really matter, honestly. And I go for the Earthquake because I expected them to potentially go for a catch, but I actually forgot how little energy health they had. So it actually, I could have probably just gone straight for the Sludge Bomb, but either way, despite my misplay there, I'll end up working out. Furret leads are always really nice to see because you can just go for this play. I just go straight Sludge Bomb, but you want to build up to the Earthquake so you can potentially grab a shield. You'll win this matchup if they don't shield. So usually what happens is they end up shielding, and after they shield, they're down a shield, and they have to dump all their energy into the Clodsire in order to take you out. So they can't come into the next matchup with energy. Then you can Karate Chop down. Anytime you have shield advantage for a Primeape, you're in a good spot. Sometimes there's a few Pokemon in this meta, like a Shadow Dusknoir, or like a Dragalge or something, that can just like 2 shield farm you down fast attacks. But because I was able to strip away 1 shield from the Furret, it puts me in a really good spot. They obviously come in with a, you know, Jellicent counter, so I'm not going to swap to my Jellicent right here. I threw on Charge Attack priority there just so that they don't really get an extra turn out of that. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to double shield because I really just don't want to see this Charge Bug in the back. But my guess is that they're pretty weak to the Jellicent. Actually, they're triple strong into it. But like I said, bam, dude, this thing is nutty. Unfortunately, I'm caught in a tough position because my Primeape, like I said, terrible PvP IVs. And yeah, they look like they're just trying to get to that last move, and they don't make it either. But if I had a slightly better IV spread Primeape, then I probably would have gotten off another move there. So we do go 5-0 in that first set. We're now in the 3100s. Like I said, I climbed this all the way to 3200s last night. Team is absolutely bonkers. This is actually a really good matchup for me because obviously you have the shield of Swift, but I just throw the Ice Punch on Swift so that they're forced to throw on Charge Attack priority, and most people won't shield here. And the main thing is Jumpluff's not going to appreciate coming into this. So now that they come in Jumpluff into my Primeape, I can either grab a shield back or just take out this Jumpluff. So I have so much energy banked, which is really, really nice. And like I said, Jumpluff is just not a true Primeape counter. In comes Corsola, and they're out there. I'm telling you, some of these games, they're just that quick, right? But anyway, Shadow Aurorus, again, not a great lead for me, but here's the thing. This is, again, like I said, Shadow Dusknoir, one of those Pokemon that could just completely fast attack you down. they leave with all this energy. That's fine with me because now this Aurorus is in Earthquake range. I could just throw one Earthquake and probably take it out. So even my Clodsire has a lot of play into it. But Jellicent also is probably pretty safe into this too. We'll have to see what they have in the back, right? Like if they have a Furret in the back, it does get a little bit tough. But it's very unlikely that someone has a Aurorus, Shadow Aurorus lead with a Furret in the back. It's just very unlikely. That being said, yep, in comes a Primeape. As expected, it is not the Furret. And they do catch the Shadow Ball. I think I tank one of these, yeah, because it's not enough to take me out. I'll show the next one, but that's fine. I want to make sure I leave with energy here. And then Aurorus, I don't think can tank a Surf, but this is a fairly new Shadow Pokemon, so you never know. And I'm just going to throw the Surf and see how much it does. But I'm almost at back-to-back. I probably should throw one Hex there because there's no way they have double Meteor Beam, but they're going to quit out, so we're not going to see how much that really does, but I believe that should probably nearly one-shot. It is super effective on the Shadow. All right, in comes a Grumping. And so this is one of those situations where if you want to maintain Switch Advantage and not dump a shield, what I'll do is I'll chip it up first and then bring it in the Jellicent. Makes it a little bit easier to deal with. And that way, you know, I don't have to go down a shield and I can still maintain Switch Advantage. They actually end up shielding here, which is interesting. But we force them to shield a Surf, which is always good. I'm not going to give up Switch Advantage here, though. So I probably could have, but I get a lot of value out of this Jellicent, so I don't actually think that's necessary. I might actually swap to Clodsire here. Let's see. Yeah, this is doing a ton of work into their team. Yeah, almost takes them out, and I come in and catch the move on the Clodsire, which is fine with me because they're probably pretty strong to Clodsire in the back. Yeah, as expected, it is going to be the Aurorus, and then we have the Primeape to close out. Like I said, these battles, quick and easy and effective. That's what this team is. I'm going against my teammate and friend BJ Pawat, but I don't think he knows exactly what team I'm running. So I'm actually going to go for the Sludge Bomb before I get debuffed. But then I realized he wouldn't debuff me anyway. He's probably going to throw his Crochet Grass Knot. So I probably should just on the Earthquake there, but we go for the Earthquake now. I actually think Earthquake plus Sludge Bomb and Poison Stings is actually the better play. Yeah, so I would have had to throw... yeah, I think that would have worked out anyway, because I would have got hit by a move anyway. All right, we're going to come in with the Primeape. Obviously, Jellicent is pretty strong into the Marowak, so I am going to start baiting here, and they kind of have to respect the energy from me. And then in comes a Charge Bug, so that's really good because I can lock that into my Clodsire, although my Clodsire is a bit low on health, so that's not helpful. But that being said, yeah, I figure I could tank an X-Scissor, so it should be fine. It's resisted. But he throws a Crunch at me, which was completely out of left field. I did not expect that. So definitely took me off guard, and I get debuffed here. But I'm pretty sure the Marowak has pretty much no energy remaining because he kind of threw it right away to soften up my Primeape or force a shield out. And because of that, even with the debuff, I'm able to get the Surf off and take out his Shadow Kin Marowak. So we add another win to the chart. And then for the final battle here, our 10th battle, we're on a 9-game win streak in the 3100s, right? Crazy stuff. But that's why this team is so good. So use it while you can, and see if you climb as much as you can in this cup, like some of my patrons did. All right, and in this situation, I do lose Charge Attack priority, so not ideal, but I'm just going to throw. And the main thing here is that I get to Ice Punch before they get to a move, before they get to the Sludge Bomb. If they have Sludge Bomb, we should get their on Charge Attack priority, which, as you can see right here, it was. So I at least take out the Clodsire. I don't really have an energy lead, though, unfortunately. And in comes a Dusknoir, which is not great for my Jellicent either. So this is actually not the worst case situation for me. And I just get to another Rage Fist. I think I probably should have gotten taken out there. I think I got Damage Registration Error, DRE. So because of that, I was able to get another shield. Probably shouldn't have, and they probably would have astonished me down. That being said, I have no idea what they have in the back. So I'm really just trying to take this out. And then in comes a Primeape. What a great catch by them. Even if I threw the Surf, I would have taken out their Dusknoir. But the thing is, I don't know if a Shadow Ball plus Hex would have been enough to take out this Primeape. And as you can see, I'm trying to build with both. So great catch from the opponent there. But it was our backlines were actually fairly similar, but they had the Dusknoir instead of the Jellicent. I do like the Jellicent for various reasons, but Dusknoir I think is also a solid option too. But we do go 4-1 in that set. So I'll take it, especially in the elo range I was at. Climbing quite a bit here. You can see me struggling with a Lapras, but that is what it is. Anyway, key things to note is that make sure you use a Shadow Primeape, not a regular one. And you can see here, this is my final ending elo on the day. It was 32-28, so season high so far. But for those, regardless of what rank you're at, I think this team will work really well. Just study some of these matchups. You can watch back my live stream from last night as well. It's a little over an hour, so if you want to see some additional matchups on how I played it out or my thought process behind some of these matchups, definitely check out that full-length VOD. I'll actually link it down in the description below to make it easier for those that might have trouble finding it. Anyway, let me know how the team goes for you. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share, subscribe for future content, hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.